that's the thing with a deep ball. We talk about, oh, that guy can throw a deep ball. Well, if a guy can throw 60 yards from a clean pocket with 2 gather steps, that's one thing. But if a guy can break the pocket and throw off platform, isn't that kind of today's NFL, right? And today's barometer for, can this guy throw a deep ball? I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about when I watch CJ play.
Yeah, and I think it's what's been fun with him is he can do all of that, and he also recognizes that there's times to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and the more you do that, the less consistent you'll be. So
Yeah.
he's very adept at, like, yeah, I know I can make this play. It was the right time to make this play. I let it go. But I know I can't just throw like this all the time because I'm going to miss more than I make, which is him embracing the fundamentals of all the way down to footwork within the scheme. So more often than not, he could play with the right base in the ground when he's letting it go. I think shows in his accuracy and his consistency.
Do you think that footwork, because I think you just hit it. I mean, one of the things I noticed right away, he reminded me of Burrow. That he reminded me of, and I said this and some people gave me the side eye, but he reminded me of Brady, because I think those two guys do such a great job of keeping their eyes downfield and
Mm-hmm.
navigating the pocket. I mean, obviously CJ is a great athlete, but to your point, you don't always have to hit the home run, not with the throw and not with your legs. It's the little movements in the pocket. What makes him so good at feeling the pocket and the footwork that goes with it?
Yeah, he embraces it. It's not easy, I don't think it's easy for any quarterback coming in the NFL. It's one of the biggest differences between the NFL and college is
Yeah.
you don't get clean pockets in the NFL very often, as you know. Usually, you're going to have to move off your spot or control your spot and navigate to get back to a good base position with the smallest movements possible, and that's what makes it tough. They're not drastic big movements. They're usually small movements to make sure that we just get a window. And there's a lot of drill work that's gone into that with him. There's some of it, obviously, that's innate feel, being able to just pressure and push that's happening. But the time he spent last year in individuals and in training camp that then built into the season, he saw the dividends of as we kept going through the year. And as
Yeah.
he kept going through the year, he realizes, yeah, these pockets they can get messy fast. And then he
Yeah.
really owned that. I love that you use Burrow as a great example. Brady is the best example. I mean, we've thrown on and watched Brady. We've watched Breeze. We've watched Peyton, all the old quarterbacks. You could always, I shouldn't call them old. They'll get mad at me, but
Yeah.
yeah. But
Hey,
the,
if the shoe fits.
oh, you said it, not me. Um, no, but we've thrown on all their film. I think it's always good to take those and learn from those. And Brady was elite at doing that. How he got to the top may be different, but always getting to his launch point in the pocket and then being able to navigate push and being willing to take what the defense gave him in between his special plays made him an extremely efficient quarterback, and that's something that CJ is really embracing. And even right now working through in a very competitive camp.
I love a guy who can climb the pocket. I didn't love it when I played because, the gimmies weren't there as much, but,
That's right.
a guy who can drop to 9 and he's going to climb to 7. And
Yep.
he just seems like that kind of. Another thing I love about him was I'm sure maybe you heard this, but he was on a podcast. I don't know how much you watch CJ and his podcasting and kind of like his, because I think he's great when he's up there with Micah and that sort of thing. But he was talking about Stafford and he lit up. It's the way as somebody who watches Stafford and all the quarterbacks in the
Mm-hmm.
league, I know what Stafford does on a week to week basis, but it was apparent to me that CJ watches a lot of guys, like not just preparing for the next week, but as a student, on a macro level. And I thought that was just refreshing. Also, he has good taste in quarterbacks because Stafford was slinging it last year.
Oh yeah, no, he's in the best way possible. He's a football junkie.
Yeah.
Obviously he spends a lot of time studying our opponent. He watches teams that are similar to our scheme, but he's not afraid to branch out and watch other quarterbacks that he knows play the game really well and see
Yeah.
what they do and how they command the game and how they operate and what can I grab from this? What can I
Yeah.
learn from this?